Good morning everybody, welcome to another quick hit review video, the 14th of June 2019. First of all, a little bit of news out for the dollar this afternoon at 1:30. It's retail sales and we've got Carney that will be talking. Nothing for me that's going to be of any significance or of any importance. So plain sailing today. In terms of the news events, there are half a dozen pairs I'm keeping an eye on. Nothing that's standing out to me, to be honest with you, in terms of real good setups. Just adding one other thing to the list. Okay, let's have a look at the Aussie dollar, looking for trend continuation on this currency pair. So the market is clearly working its way lower. I am expecting for it to come down for a complete retest here. If we go down to the 240, we can see that we've had a few pullbacks in here. This is the pullback that I would pay attention to right here. We'll see this better as we drop down to the 60. Only problem here on the 240 is we haven't yet violated that level, so there's no opportunity there. However, here on the 60 we have violated that structure level, and this would be good enough for me, to be honest, to get involved with. So this is the outside return just here. Be looking for a pullback into the outside return and something as simple as a lower low, lower close. However, first chance entry, if you highlight the wicks and drop down one time frame lower, we do have a double bottom and then we have a retest. So there's nothing here for me right now to get involved with. What I would be looking for is something like a complex pullback. Actually, this is a bit too deep for a complex pullback. Yes, 786, so that's not going to be any good. We may have an advanced pattern in here, swing high to swing low. Nope, we fall short there as well. So there's nothing on the 15, if I'm honest. I'm going to be waiting for the 60, see if we can get up here and maybe get a lower low, lower close within this area. Euro yen, looking for a pullback and trend continuation. So euro yen, still expecting price to come down to retest the lows here. We did have this outside return which we've pulled back into, and we've had multiple lower low, lower close candles now. Spoke about this yesterday and I said that it was 200 pips of risk. This is the one where we had that AB equals CD pattern and it produced the head and shoulders up here. Now this formation interests me. Okay, this is just, look how we're adhering to the channel. Come on RSI, come up, and the RSI has gone massively oversold here at around 15. The problem is it's not happening at any form of structure. So I can't determine where the pop would be. You could maybe look at the 12200 for a little bit of a counter move, but there's just nothing there in the 240. Okay, so on the 60, well, it's ugly, but we had a move lower, a pullback, a move lower, excuse me, a pullback, a move lower, pullback, and then another move lower. So I would be keeping an eye out for a pullback back here. Sorry, I just had to clear my throat there. So yeah, looking for a pullback here. We have had this head and shoulders looking like this. So I would expect price to come down to this level. So I'll be looking for a pullback and a chance to get short here to ride it down to around 2150, something like that. Euro dollar, still waiting on that bat that seems to be taking forever to complete. So we spoke about this a few weeks ago. We got the pop that we were looking for. If I put a structure level on here at our highs, we did violate those highs. So there is the potential for price to come up to this level. We have been though putting in a couple of lower low, lower close candles. Let's go to the 240. What do we have on the 240? Okay, we double topped here, so that on the daily you might want to look at that as a fake break because we've double topped on the 240. Not only that, we actually violated just here to the downside, so this is a confirmed double top because we violated the V point. So be cautious here, looking for long opportunities, and I wouldn't be interested in any shorts either. So really one for me just to stay out. X to A to B, B to C, CD completion, just a little bit lower down here for your bat pattern. We have then, I am involved in a little Aussie dollar CAD trade. Let's go to that. So here on the Aussie dollar CAD, we're down within the wicks. We have not yet violated this level. We have been predicting that price is going to come down to this level for quite a while. I'm going to have to change that shortcut key. If we drop down to the 240, we still don't have a violation. If we drop down to the 60, then this is what I was really paying attention to. We had the market that came lower, a pullback, came lower, a pullback, and within the first chance entry just here, you can see we held structure. If we drop to the 15, we've got ourselves a little head and shoulders. So a pattern means that we usually have an X leg, which is right here. So we have a move higher, a pullback for a left shoulder, a move higher. We did hold structure. I just didn't have the this blue box drawn out correctly, but we did hold structure. We saw a move lower, putting us in a potential rotation, giving us an initial structure low. We then saw a pullback, and we actually have a back pattern. Good grief. Flag pattern here, you can tell it's early. 1, 2, 3, 4 up here. I'm late getting involved with the trade, but it does mean that my stop can just go 5 pips above the high. And in terms of risk here, we're looking at 16, and I'm playing for a retest of the lows. Do believe that we can get a big old extension here because I think we're going to violate that level, but it's Friday and I don't want to hold trades over the weekend, so a nice opportunity for a potential 18 pips on the Aussie dollar CAD 15. Let's go and take a look at the, no, I'm going to leave the Euro New Zealand. Pound Aussie. You guys watched my video where I was 85 pips up. It stopped me out. In fact, I still got the drawings on. Let me just drop down to the 60 here. 15 it was. Just show you this. This is a stinker. This is the kind of week I've had. Where was my entry? Where's my entry? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, let's take it from the top. Still looking for long opportunities. I've been saying for weeks now, watch this area because we've had this big run. We could see quite a big pop here to the upside, particularly this area. And around the middle of it, I'd be paying attention to the 18400. There's around 250 pips up for grabs. And there we go, 250 pips. And I was involved, and it stopped me out for break even and then rallied to targets. Nothing on the 240, but just pay attention to the fact that we are making higher highs here. Let's go to the 60. This was my entry actually on the 60. If we just highlight this area here, I'm just going to walk you through this because this trade would have put me into profit. We actually had quite a nice little structure cluster around here that held and had multiple tests. What happened is the market gapped lower. We had the RSI confirmation. I got involved just here, and I was playing for the 180-300 just here. Okay, but my rules is that when we come up and we retest structure highs, I move to break even. And I moved to break even it was here. and the market turned around, stopped me out, and then went and hit my targets for 105 pips. Thank you very much, pound Aussie. So move higher, outside return, move higher, outside return, move higher, outside return, move higher. So we've only just made a new high here. It wouldn't surprise me if we just from this point just ride on up, but keep an eye out for that. There's still a little bit of room to go in this, I believe. We could actually even come all the way up to this level, so that's just something to pay attention to. Pound yen, still looking for trend continuation, still looking for the market to come lower. This is where I'm predicting the market to come to, and we had a nice rally, and it looks as though we may be starting to see the turning point now. Yesterday was a lower low, lower close candle down on the 240. This is another one where we predicted big moves and we just never got it, never got the entry. AB equals CD pattern. Then we had the head and shoulders, which never gave me the entry. Was this the head and shoulders? Oh no, this was the double top up here. And the AB equals CD pattern hit targets, then it pulled back, and you can see that we've actually held this structure level up here. Just never gave me any kind of entry I was happy with. But from there we made a new low, I pull back, I move low, I pull back. This was a beautiful entry here. Just look at these tweezer tops. If you could get involved at that level, congratulations, because you've now just come down and hit targets. I'm personally now looking for a new low, and I pull back anywhere within this outside return. So nothing today, I don't think. Maybe going into next week. New Zealand yen is a potential. All of these guys are just potentials. There's nothing that's really sticking out to me. We're almost down at our lows just here, but we have actually tested them due to those wicks. If we go to the 240, you can see that clear. In fact, on the 240 the wicks start from here, so at this point you can start looking for counter trend moves, particularly after we've had such a big rally, exactly like the pound Aussie. This, look at the big rally we've had, and we've not had a 382 retracement. We could see a pop here, particularly up to this level. There could be a lot of pips up for grabs. We are oversold on the RSI here, gone down to around 14, something like that. If we drop to the 60, we are getting a little bit of double bottom action here. I don't think this will be good enough for me for the double bottom. Don't think it's the kind of setup I would be looking for, but we'll wait and see. That might be one to wait for a 26.18. Here on the 15, though, we have a potential head and shoulders. So move lower, left shoulder, head, pull back, move lower. I'm going to be waiting for a violation above this level before I look at getting involved, and then I'll get involved here. Stops like this, playing for a retest up here. So we will wait and see what happens. There is room actually for the market. I'd actually play for a 382 here. Yeah, just up to that structure level, so maybe a little bit high. Well, we do have this structure level here, so something like that. It would offer a nice reward to risk anyway if we get the entry on that trade. Just one more then, last one. It's a trade I'm actually in. I do say time and time again, breakout patterns, watch out for trend continuation. I'm just going to go straight to the pattern here on the 60. So flag pattern, and we had a swing in the market, we had a directional move, we had 4 touches either side. This is a shallow pattern. It came to a 382, and when we come to a 382, it's typically means trend continuation, and we can play for that 127. And just look at what we did. We pulled back right to the trend line, and we've now made a new low. And that came into our major structure level right here, which was the wicks. So classic setup for me, this, for a flag pattern. But guys, the trade is not over. You still have, from this point to here, up for grabs nearly 50 pips of reward. Drop down to your lower time frames. So talk about this in my new website, and how to get involved with the trade. And right here you have an opportunity right now. Directional move, pullback, new low, pullback, lower low, lower close. When we're in breakout patterns, we tend to break out with force, we tend to enter trend. You can enter in right now, stops an ATR above the high, which is only 5 pips, giving you 29, and I would then just hold it for targets. Where are the targets? Where have they gone? And look at the insane reward to risk you're getting right now. A very small amount of risk. Okay, very small, 14 for around 50 pips of risk. If you want, you can move your stop on every outside return and bank some of those profits. Me personally, I wouldn't do that. I would just hold it, but that's entirely your preference. But just because you've missed the pattern doesn't mean you've missed all the pips that are up for grabs. So that's a good opportunity right now on the New Zealand CAD.